Hi, my name is Glenn Anum, a data science trainer at Azubi Africa. And today I'm going to show you how we can automate boring stuff in Excel and Power Query. So what are we going to try to automate today? We have tasks that we do which are quite boring, and we want a process in which we can automate these boring tasks. So what is this task at hand? Every day there is a folder that we have a file that is being dropped. Our job is to go into that folder, copy the data, and move it into the master sheet. Other requirements are all points under department are supposed to start in capital letters. So I need to change fashion to capital F, and wherever we see an empty space, we need to put in a 0. Now this is a task that is given to us daily to fill. Now we need a way to be able to automate this task so that it is easy for us to focus on other tasks that need our attention most. So how can we go about this? First of all, we need to connect to the folder in which these files are being dropped every day. So in order for us to do this, we go into our data tab, and within our data tab, we have get data. From there, we can link Excel to the folder. So I click on get data, I go to from file, and we can see at the bottom here we have from folder. So I'm going to click on from folder, and this is going to open up my local directory for me. So I want to connect to the folder which is auto, which is where all the files are dropped for me each day. So after selecting the folder I want, I click on open, and that would link my Excel to that folder. So I can see I have a file in that folder already, and I will need to do some pre-processing to that data. So I'm going to click on transform data, which is going to move us into our Power Query. Now within our Power Query, we can see that our data is here. And in order for us to view our data, we need to hit on the drop down button right at the top here. And then we can bring in the sheet that we need. So we can click on this to preview, and yes, this is what we want to bring in, and click OK. Okay, so now we have our data successful in Power Query. Now, what is the first step I want to do? I want to make sure that any time we see a lowercase letter in department, we want to change this into uppercase. So I'm going to click on replace values, and I'm going to replace small fashion with capital F for our fashion, and click OK. So we can clearly see this change applied. Okay. The next thing is wherever we find any null values, we want to change that to a 0. So in order for that to take effect, I click on null, and I click on replace values here. Now, what do I want to replace all null values by? I want to replace them by 0. So anytime you see a null value, please replace it by 0. Then click OK. Now, each step we have done in Power Query has been listed here. So now we can use this steps that has been listed here to automate the process. So now that we have cleaned our data, we can close and load this data. Now we have successfully transformed and cleaned our data, and we have this in our master sheet. Now, how can we automate this process? Guess what? We've done that already. What do we mean by this? So I have my folder here, which is auto, and I want to move a file into auto, which is to simulate what is going to happen every day. So I'm going to move a folder into auto for the next day. Then how can we automate that same process? Well, all we have to do here is go back to where we have our data, or still in our table design, and we will find a button there called refresh. So when we refresh, we can see that the same steps that we applied in the previous step has been applied to the new data that we have now. We can see that we have fashion, which is in capital, and all null values have been changed to 0. So this is a way we can automate tasks that have been given to us, which are quite boring, and to focus on more daunting tasks. I hope you've enjoyed this quick automation. If you're interested in learning more, check out Azubi Africa's Data Analytics Professional program. Thank you.